where I learned more about the traumas of me being adopted came up was I was in this relationship for 6 years. And for the last 9 months or so, I was having an affair. And it was not, when I look back, I was just not living my life. I was too scared to say, I don't want to be in this because I needed somebody, because if I don't have somebody, what if I never get, nobody will want me again. Right. And so after everything comes out and I was in therapy, my therapist just kind of casually dropped like, well, yeah, I mean, but there's part of this that could be an adoption trauma and your need to bond with women and do that. And I remember being like, well, what do you mean? And then, like, you know, all these things are flashing through my head. I was like, oh boy, this makes sense. So that was the first time that I was aware of some of my behaviors that may stem from not coping with that. It's like, no, and it's an incessant need to prove my worth, which is one reason why I talk about being a bot baby. Because it's like, truly, the joke for me is I don't want to be my parents' worst investment, but at the same time, I really feel that way. Yeah, that was really I feel so bad that relationship ended that way, because that was the beginning of me becoming who I really am as a person. It's just, and it comes from, and I've, learned to understand that it comes from that. Like, well, if I can be separated from my mother, then, and knowing that she was 16 and we don't know what happened, but in my mind, of course, I've made up this thing, even though I'm happy, I've made up this thing. Well, maybe she didn't want me. And that's just lives there. Even when I don't think it lives there, it lives there. And even this morning, somebody asked me, they were like, do you want to start the process of looking? And at the beginning of the phone call, I said yes. And by the end, I said no. And then like a day later, I was like,
You're not ready.
I'm not ready. And yeah. I may never ever be ready, yeah. But I found out, never said this publicly, that I'm only 1/3 Black. And like, I remember telling my family, I was like, guys, I'm only 1/3 Black. And they were like, yeah, but one drop, what does it matter? Like, that's the way that, that I was raised. I was raised as a strong Black man, but I would love to know more. I can't control what I find. So that's the scary part.